Hello everyone. So welcome to today's session, which is a session on CAT 2020, that is getting your DILR prepped right. So this session is brought to you by me, Nilanjan Dutta, a CAT and a DILR 100 percentiler. And the reason why this session is so important is if I look back at CAT 15 till CAT 19, almost every year, the make or break section, the most important section to get an overall good percentile was the DILR section. Be it in terms of raw score, be it in terms of the scaling component, the most effective section of the DILR section. The only exception may be CAT 18, where both quants and DILR were equally important. Rest, every year of CAT, the DILR section is your make or break section, which means if you want to get an overall good percentile as well, the DILR will form the backbone of your performance. So keeping that in mind, it's very important that you get set with your DILR preps right, and that is why me being a CAT and a DILR 100 percentiler, I'll help you get there. So this is a brief introduction about myself. And I want to give the opportunity to inform all of you about the Unacademy Plus course, which is happening on unacademy.com/plus. So you download the Unacademy app and you go to unacademy.com/plus, or if you go to unacademy.com/plus, the website, you'll find the DILR Live classes are starting for CAT 2020. Batch 1 is starting tomorrow, Jan 9th, Thursday. So Jan 9th, Thursday, we're starting with the first of the classes. That session is at 10 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday, Jan 9th. So do make sure that before that, all of you are subscribed to the Unacademy Plus subscription and are being part of this live classes. While subscribing, you can use the discount code Nilanjan Dutta subscribing. Remember, the DILR section, the make or break section. So this is part of the Score Booster Unacademy Plus course. So given that CAT 2020 is 12 months away, the most recommended would indeed be the 12-month subscription, because that'll cover you not only till CAT but the other MB exams like NMAT, IFT, ZAT and so on. So definitely look at the 12-month subscription, which is the most recommended and the most cheapest of these 4 subscription plans. Use the discount code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing. Note there is no space for Nilanjan and Dutta in a discount code. If you use this code, the price will reduce even further than the price is quoted here. But make sure that you're subscribing before Jan 9th, that is 10 p.m. because that is when we start with the first session for CAT 2020. And make sure they're part of batch 1, because then you get the best amount of preparations for CAT 2020. And what better than getting mentored by me, a CAT, as well as a DILR individual sectional 100 percentiler as well. Along with that, as part of the Unacademy Plus subscription for CAT 2020, using the code Nilanjan Dutta, you'll also get access to all the quants live classes by me. So do not worry, just make sure you're subscribing by tomorrow, Jan 9th, 10 p.m. The 12-month subscription, the most recommended plan, using the discount code Nilanjan Dutta. That'll give you access to the quants, the CAT strategy, all the live classes for 2020. So how do you get a discount code? So you choose your subscription plan, the 12-month subscription plan. Here in the referral code section, you enter the code Nilanjan Dutta. Note there is no space between Nilanjan and Dutta in the discount code. And once you click on apply, it'll say apply successfully. The price will reduce here and you can check out. Just remember, there's no space for Nilanjan and Dutta in the discount code. So now let's get started with CAT 2020, the DILR preparations, because this is going to be the most important component of your entire CAT 2020 preparations to help you get into a dream B school of your choice. So first up, we start with the most important thing, that is DILR. What are the books that you should be following? So when it comes to DILR books, these are some of the recommended books that you should be looking at to start your preparations. That is the Data Interpretation book by Arun Sharma, which is part of the McGraw-Hill Education Publications. Also, you have the Logical Reasoning book for CAT by Arun Sharma, which is also part of the McGraw-Hill Education. And along with that, the alternate book to Arun Sharma is going for an LRDI book by Nishit Sinha. So both these set of books, the Arun Sharma books as well as the Nishit Sinha books, is very, very useful and is very, very handy as far as preparing for CAT is concerned. Especially if you're looking at the DILR section, one of the most important things is the challenging, awkward, challenging DILR sets, which are very, very unpredictable, which involve concepts like logic-based DI. And that is exactly what you get in the Arun Sharma books if you solve the LOD3 sets. Solving that is a must for CAT, because that gives you access to understanding how logic-based DI works, how the challenging DILR sets work. And believe me, there can be no better practice than doing that. Along with this, you can also look at some other books, like there's one very good book which is called Concepts of Logical Reasoning by Gajendra Kumar. That is another very, very good book for DILR that all of you could be looking at. So Arun Sharma's DI, that's a separate book, LR separate book, both are part of the McGraw-Hill Education. Make sure you're going for LOD3 problems as well. You can start with LOD1 and 2 for starters, but move on to LOD3 in under a few months' time. Alternatively, if you have Nishit Sinha, that'll also do. As an additional companion, you could be looking at the Concepts of LR book by Gajendra Kumar. So that is as far as books are concerned. So anybody, any questions on books before we move on? So XGMAT, the questions are a lot easier. It's very similar to whatever you've done for exams like NMAT and SNAP and all, as far as level of difficulty. So it's definitely easier than CAT. The syllabus is more or less similar. So hope everybody is clear on the books. So next what we'll do is we'll move on to the next segment, which is the DILR habits. And this is very important because DILR is not just about studying and doing sets and all. It's also about inculcating it as a regular habit. The reason why I say this is every year, the reason why DILR is a make or break section is people say that they were unprepared for it. And why were they unprepared? Because they often say that the kind of sets that come are very different from the kind of sets that you've seen in mocks. And that is where the big thing happens, that is not just about practicing sets, it's also about understanding how do you go about in what is called a structured approach. Most of these DILR sets, if you look at, they come in with very unstructured data in the set, but what is important is understanding how you can leverage structured approaches to crack the same challenging set within a few minutes. The other thing that is important is right from now, try to solve caselets in a time-bound manner of 10 to 12 minutes. You can start with 12 minutes, but within a few months, you expect you're looking at less than 10 minutes approaches per set. On Unacademy Plus, as part of the DILR course, we strictly follow a less than equal to 10 minutes per set approach. The reason is because As an Unacademy Plus student, you're expected to attempt at least 6 sets in CAT, preferably a 7th or 8th set, and that is what sets Unacademy Plus DLR students apart. The fact that they're used to solving every set right from now in each of the sessions that are starting from tomorrow, Jan 9th. We're looking at solving sets in 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes approaches. So make sure that you're mastering the art of solving sets right from a time-bound manner. At best, you can give yourself a luxury of 12 minutes for starters, and in a few months, bring it down to less than equal to 10 minutes. The other thing is making solving puzzles as a habit. Why? Because what solving puzzles does is it makes you more accustomed to unstructured sets. So wherever there's a lot of logic-based DI and so on, where you do not know an exact idea as to how to approach it, thinking unconventionally is important, and that is where exposure to puzzles and unstructured ways of solving sets is very handy. So what is important is having a habit of solving puzzles, having an understanding of how to go about approaching even the most challenging of sets in a structured manner, and finally the next thing is using options and questions clues to solve challenging sets. So in Unacademy Plus, what we do is right from day one, I make all the students look at every set, the first 1 minute of every set, go through all the questions and options. Why? Because often what happens is the set might be very difficult to solve by the normal structured approach. The structured approach may not click, but the question and options that are there in the set may give you hints on how you can go about solving the set and can make your job a lot simpler. In fact, if you look at CAT in the recent years, from CAT 15 till CAT 19 this year, most of the sets, at least 2-3 questions on an average, were solvable without being able to solve the set. You not even have needed to solve the complete set to mark the answers for 2-3 questions, and that is very, very important. So that is why, remember, scoring high in DLR is all about structured approach. Combine that with the question option based approach and the time-bound manner of approaching. The last thing is make sure that you're acquainted with solving puzzles. Make that as part of your day-to-day habit. These are the 4 things which if you do on a regular basis and then make it a habit of yours, you'll soon be doing really, really well as far as CAT is concerned. In fact, in our DLR Live classes on Unacademy Plus, we emphasize a lot on these 4 right from the onset. And we've seen cases where students who have scored less than 20 in DLR in a particular year have been part of batch 1 of CAT the next year on Unacademy Plus and have increased their scores to as high as 99.99 percentile in DLR. Why? Because they've embraced this kind of approaches to solving challenging DLR sets. So any questions on DLR day-to-day habits that you need to inculcate? The next thing that is important as far as the DLR preparations going is DLR practice. And I understand a lot of you might be very relaxed right now because there's a lot of time for CAT, but believe me, given that there is approximately 300 days to CAT, or maybe more than that, if you look at 2 DLR sets daily, right from today till CAT, you've suddenly given yourself a luxury of 600 diverse sets to practice from. 2 DLR sets daily, but make sure that that is with analysis. Every DLR set in a time-bound fashion, take 10 minutes, at max maybe 12 minutes to try and solve it yourself. Try and pick up 1 moderate level difficulty set, 1 difficult set, and try and give yourself 10 to 12 minutes. Try and use a structured approach, combine it with the question option based approach, and try and mark the answers within the 10-12 minute mark. First one that I said, make sure you're leaving it for going through the question options so that you know what is important and what is not important in that set. Often there's a lot of data in the set which may not even be relevant for answering most of the questions. So focusing on that is important, because remember, your ultimate aim is not to just solve the set, but to maximize your marks in a given amount of time. So make sure going into this daily practice of 2 sets. Also, after you've tried solving the set, make sure going through the detailed solutions to understand where you were getting stuck in the set and what the structured approach is, so you understand the next time a similar kind of set comes, how do you go about employing a more structured approach so that next time at least you're not getting stuck. Don't just try very difficult sets. It's ideal if you can try one more than one difficult set. The good thing is, in the last couple of years of CAT, at least in CAT 18, CAT 19, what they've been doing is they've been releasing the question papers. In fact, I think in CAT 17 also they released the question papers. I'm not sure about CAT 17, but CAT 18 and CAT 19, they definitely released the question papers. In CAT 17 also they did. So just have a look at those for starters, and then try and practice 2 sets daily, 1 moderate, 1 difficult. If you look at the sets in the last 3 years, you'll find, and in fact, if you look at last 5 year sets also are all very similar types, where all you do was combine a structured approach with the question after with approach to maximize on your scores. The other thing is, from where do you source the questions? So one thing is you can do it from the books that we mentioned. The other thing is past year mocks, because what past year mocks does is it gives you a diverse range of sets to pick up from. Remember, when you set a mock, they always try to ensure that within each mock they give you diverse kind of sets, so that will automatically ensure that you have two diverse kind of sets. And mocks come with solutions as well, so automatically you get detailed solutions available too. So if you have past year mocks, make sure you're doing that. And at the end of attempting 2 sets, analyze the solutions well. Some of you might ask, how do I take out, let's say, 30-40 minutes time daily to solve 2 sets, including the analysis period? So this is what I'll tell you. It's not about taking 30-40 minutes time. Whenever you have 15-20 minutes time, it could be maybe when at work and you have 15-20 minutes break. It could be during your travel time to office, anytime when, during your college time when there's a break or something. Anytime you get 15-20 minutes, just try and solve 1 DLR set. It could be in pen paper mode, that doesn't matter. Just do it in pen paper mode. Not that you need to always do it in online mode, but the idea is get used to doing that. Taking out 40 minutes daily might be difficult, but getting 2 breaks of 15-20 minutes during the day is very easy, and that is what you can use optimally to get your 2 DLR sets as day-to-day practice. Remember, if you start now at 600 sets in more than 300 days, do not leave things till the month of October, November, when there will be only 50 days left. Along with that, with the DLR live classes are on Unacademy Plus, where me, CAT overall, as well as the DLR 100 percentiler, is conducting live classes for DLR. Remember, enrollments are on. It's available on unacademy.com/plus. So batch 1 is starting on Jan 9th, which is tomorrow at 10 p.m. So do make sure before Jan 9th, 10 p.m., all of you are enrolling for the DLR live classes. A lot of you keep reaching out to me for any discounts on Unacademy Plus. So that is why, me being a CAT and DLR 100 percentiler, I have my personal discount code. So any of you can use that and get enrolled. But make sure you're enrolling quickly, because there might be limited people who will be part of the DLR live classes. So make sure you're not missing out on a single session. You're not missing on a seat in a single session. So make sure you're enrolling as soon as possible. Given that we are starting Jan 9 tomorrow at 10 p.m., preferably if you can enroll by midnight tonight or by tomorrow morning, that would be more safest for you guys. And remember, This DLR course is to give your scores that extra 20, 25 marks boost. It doesn't matter how much you scored in CAT 19, because remember, we've seen cases where students have increased their scores from less than 20 to as high as 99.99 percentile in the DLR section in CAT in just 1 year of Unacademy Plus live classes. So make sure that right from the start, right from now, right from Jan 9 tomorrow, the first session, you're attentively listening to every class on DLR live on Unacademy Plus. There shouldn't be a single session that any of you have missed out on. So how do you be part of it? So here you have the 12-month subscription. Note CAT and SAT will be in the next 12 months. So go for the 12-month subscription, the most recommended and the cheapest as well if you compare it with the others here on a per monthly basis. So go for the 12-month subscription. Use the discount code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing. Note there is no space in a discount code Nilanjan and Dutta. It's continuous Nilanjan Dutta. It doesn't matter whether you enter in capitals or in small. Nilanjan Dutta, the discount code will work. It's not just that you're enrolling for DLR. This will give you access to all the live classes with all the top educators on Unacademy Plus. It's for all the sections, that is VRC, QADI and DLR. So all the QA, DLR, GDPI, everything that is a part of the next 12 months, all those courses you'll be getting access to. So just make sure that you're being part of the live classes. The Quants live classes are also coming up shortly, but the DLR live classes are starting from Jan 9, that's tomorrow. So make sure you're going for a 12-month subscription plan. If you're part of it, you'll also get access to the Quants live classes and the CAT strategy and all these sessions, the workshops and everything over the next 12 months. So how do you get a discount? So here you choose the 12-month subscription plan. Here in the referral code section, you enter the code Nilanjan Dutta. Note there's no space for Nilanjan and Dutta in the code. You click on apply. It'll say apply successfully. You'll get that message. The price will reduce and then you can check out. But make sure you're doing that before Jan 9th. That is tomorrow, 10 p.m. class. Ideally, I would say make sure that you're doing it, not leaving it till Jan 9, 10 p.m. You never know when you'll get a seat by then. Make sure that you're going for it by tonight midnight. Tonight midnight or tomorrow morning latest. You make sure that you're going and enrolling, because we start with live classes on Jan 9 tomorrow at 10 p.m. Use the discount code Nilanjan while subscribing. Do ask all your friends you're preparing for CAT 2020, all your juniors, to also use this code while subscribing to Unacademy Plus. You know the reasons why my DLR live classes on Unacademy Plus are so popular. Remember, if you have a chance to get mentored personally by a CAT as well as the DLR 100 percentiler, we'll be covering not just a section attempting strategy that can get you to a top percentile, but how do you solve more sets in less time? How do you master option-based solving, smart guessing approaches in sets that you're struggling to solve otherwise? How do you master the structured approach to sets? How do you choose sets wisely? And overall, finally, how do you make the DLR section your forte? DLR, even though it's a difficult section, it should not be a section that you fear. It should be something that you look forward to with all your strength. And that is what the Unacademy Plus live classes will be all about. So make sure that you're going to unacademy.com/plus and you're subscribing as soon as possible. Go for the 12-month subscription and use the code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing. Remember, Jan 9th, 10 p.m. It is tomorrow. We are starting with the first of the sessions. On that note, thank you everybody and happy learning. Hope to connect with all of you during the DLR live classes tomorrow.